Hi. Salud. I think if you want to move to New York with no job, no money, no plan, you should do it, because in 1 year, your life could look like this. Drinking alone in a dark room in Brooklyn. I'm good. I mean, I'm still day drinking, but overall it's been good. What did I want to do? I wanted to talk about myself. Okay. I've been in and out of the city for, I want to say 2 years now. I lived here during college to do internships or whatever, and then I left for a while, and then I came back. But as of late March, which is now, I have officially renewed the lease for my apartment for another year, so yeah, it marks a full, consistent year. I wanted to make this video because a lot of people have aspirations of moving to New York, and I just wanted to share what my experience has been like living here. It's just bizarre. It's a bizarre place. Overall, I'm doing good. Some pros and cons. Pros, I don't know, it's New York. Cons, there's no fresh air, everyone is crazy, it's dirty and expensive. My rent is over half my paycheck. I'm surrounded by a lot of bad influences. Overall, I'm doing really well. It's 2 p.m. and I'm drinking wine, but overall I'm doing good. Yeah, okay, New York. I feel extremely blessed that this has worked out so far, that I'm able to live a somewhat stable life, that I'm employed full-time, that I have really good friends and family here, and I think I've gotten really lucky this past year. I'm gonna start by giving New York some really high praise. New York is a crazy place to live, and it's what you would expect it to be in some ways. It's dirty and expensive, but is it worth it? Absolutely. It is the one place I've lived in the world where I genuinely feel like I belong. Am I anything special? No, quite the opposite. I'm very damaged, and that's why I like it here, because so is everyone else. Everyone is so different here. I feel normal, and I think a lot of New Yorkers say that. Has its pros and cons. I've lived in small towns, I've lived in the suburbs, I've lived in other countries, and other places are definitely more peaceful, but I've found that if I leave for more than 2 days, I get really bored. I've changed since I've moved to New York, I'll fully admit that. Apparently, I've become much more status-oriented and shallow and worse overall, but that's just according to everyone around me. I think I have changed for better and for worse. In some ways, the culture has absolutely influenced me. I care about things that I never cared about in my life before I moved here. There's all these silly social dings that I became obsessed with when I first moved here, such as, I don't even know, Equinox and Soho House and going to the Hamptons or 11 Madison Park. And the thing is, these words mean nothing to anyone else in any other part of the country, but I feel like when I got here, I just got sucked into the culture and just started caring about all of that, even though it literally doesn't matter. I am much more focused, much more driven, and just a happier person overall. For the first time in my life, I can say that I'm genuinely good right now. And when I say that, I mean it. I go to bed excited for tomorrow. Dude, I never thought I would be in a position in my life where I could say that, because I have the sads. I dress a lot better now. One thing I think I did very right when I moved to New York is that I said yes to every single social opportunity when I first got here. Whenever someone who I didn't know very well invited me to something or asked me out to dinner or just to do something, I said yes. That was a little hard for me because I'm naturally pretty introverted. And looking back, that was definitely the right decision, because now I actually feel like I have a pretty strong network in New York and a really good group of friends. I never went through that period of depression that people go through when they move to a new city. So yeah, literally just try to meet everyone you can. I could give any advice to anyone, it's don't spend money that you don't have. I'm not afraid to admit I burned through my savings when I first came here, and I have a job now. Money comes and goes, it's whatever, but I should have been a little bit more careful. Some other mistakes I made, every single man I've dated. I would say one mistake I made was I literally documented every single meal I ate on my Instagram story. That's just annoying. Granted, I had just moved from a rural town in Ohio and where there were 3 restaurants, and I was excited. Other mistakes I made, a lot of them, I think, so New York is very expensive, and I found that the key to living here is to just save money where you can. I really try to balance eating out and cooking for myself. These may seem obvious, but it's really important to learn this stuff and to get into a routine and really figure out what your priorities are. Some other things I learned. Alcoholism is very weird here. Don't look at me like that. It is an on day. That's actually the first thing I noticed when I moved to New York, is that people drink a lot here. It's a part of the culture. It's not like LA where you go hiking. I don't know when the last time I saw a tree was. Really, the only social thing to do here is to go out and eat out at restaurants. You have a few drinks, and then there's happy hours, and maybe you want to go to a bar with a friend. And when I moved here, I just found that I was just drinking a lot, and if you're not careful, that can easily turn into a daily thing. And I remember after my first 2 weeks, I was just like, whoa. Just be careful and have on days and off days. The most important advice I can give you is this. New York is a very scary place sometimes. There's a lot of drugs and nonsense, and it's a very easy place to spin out and spend all your money. I've had my fair share of too much fun, but it's very easy to get lost in the sauce. So despite all of that, just try to stay focused, stay out of trouble, do your job, pay your bills, and you'll be fine. Let's have some water. This really goes to people in their early 20s who are moving to New York. Don't ever be embarrassed if you can't afford to do something at the moment. It's totally fine if you can't afford to go to dinner some nights. I've been there. I think everyone in their early 20s who's vibing on an entry-level salary has been there. Don't feel embarrassed about that. There are plenty of cheap, fun things to do in New York. All the restaurants, all that nonsense, it'll still be there. Yeah. Overall, I've met just so many interesting people. I've been in rooms that I never thought I would be in, and I've had opportunities that I don't think I would get anywhere else. Is it worth it? For me, it absolutely has been. I walk a lot now. I think overall, I live a much more healthier lifestyle. That's not true. I did have cigarettes for breakfast, but that's only because I live in Brooklyn. I'm really excited to be here for the foreseeable future. Do I see myself in New York long term? I don't really know. I don't. The thing is, New York in your 20s is very different from New York in your 30s. Why do I say that? Because your goals typically shift in your 30s. I'm figuring out my career. I'm just trying to pay rent and make good friends, maybe find a partner. So far, I've been able to swing that. That's all fun. That's all fine. I can do that. But in your 30s, things start to change. Some people aspire to become homeowners, settle down, and have a family, and New York at that stage in life is just a different game. I live in an extremely gentrified neighborhood in Brooklyn, and I see all these townhouses, and I'm just like, why are you $10 million? Unless I marry into vast sums of wealth, it's not a realistic financial goal, for me at least. I guess it depends if I find a partner or not. I don't know. I think I'm gonna end the video here. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.